Before we start the actual meditation, I wanted to say a little bit about the herbs and days and colours and crystals, if I can remember it all in some kind of order, that you would be considering with Sekhmet. And it's quite, when you think about the symbolism of Sekhmet and you think of she being the, that came from the fire of Ra's eye. So the first thing you think is fire, okay, and sun. She's very much related with the sun and the heat of the desert and the midday sun. So therefore, all things to do with the colours, for instance, would be reds and oranges and yellows. So therefore, flowers, crystals, and incenses, if you think about the crystals and plants and herbs and stuff that relate to those colours. For instance, you would have, if you're thinking about crystals, you'd be thinking about citrines. You could think of orange calcite. You could think of ruby. You could think of that lovely, I can't remember, it's a beautiful red crystal. It's like a red quartz. Anything that is related to Mars, so like even carnelian, that kind of colour, deep oranges. Tiger's eye would be a very kind of appropriate one, being a tiger and cats and big cats and everything. And so I may as well cover that while I'm here. So when you're relating to Sekhmet, you basically think about obviously anything to do with the feline world, big cats or domestic cats, and really tuning into the energy of the feline energy and how ferocious they can be, and quite mad actually, and how beautiful and soothing and calm they can be. And regarding, say, oils, the kind of oils that I would recommend, or not me recommend, but some of the oils, because the list could go on a little bit. But for instance, here's a few oils that would be appropriate. And actually, before I forget, dragon's blood as an incense, would be very good. And obviously, any incense that is pre-blended, that is related to Mars or fire or Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun, so anything to do with the Leo energy would be also very appropriate. So if you have a pre-blended Leo incense or a Mars incense, or I'll go on to that in a minute. So for instance, with oils, you could have bay leaf. Bay leaf is related to purification and psychic awareness. Then you've got stuff like bergamot. I'm going to read out the ones that are quite easy to, get your mitts on. Bergamot is related to physical energy and prosperity. And the very sacred cedarwood, which is related to spirituality and self-control. And then, for instance, stuff like frankincense, the resin that comes out of the tree, is related to spirituality and meditation. And these are all oils that are ruled by the sun and have an association with Leo. Okay. And then you've got stuff like Juniper, that again is protective, purifying and healing. And then actually stuff like lemon or lime oil, which is purification, physical energy, and protective. Okay, I won't give you the whole exhaustive list. So just before we do the meditation, just think about Sekhmet herself. So you'll often see different aspects of how she is portrayed. Obviously, she's a lioness, so she has that kind of ferociousness, obviously. But also, when you see some depictions of Sekhmet, she's got very kind eyes And obviously that is related to the healing aspect of her. So when you're doing a meditation and you're aligning with Sekhmet, and you want to kind of put on the cloak of the energy of Sekhmet during your meditation, just think about which aspect you are tuning into. So if you want the healing aspect and you're appealing to the might and power of the goddess Sekhmet, then you think of, say, green candles, something to do with the heart chakra, as well as obviously all the fire type of stuff. If you need more courage, if you need more personal power, then you're going to be visualizing some of the aspects I've just said, like the red stones, dragon blood incense, and which is a beautiful smelling incense. And you would have images of the sun and of Sekhmet herself, or of any feline, lion, tiger, lionesses, leopards, anything like that, panthers, anything that really responds and resonates with you yourself. You just think about, okay, I'm appealing to, for instance, if you want, like I say, personal power or courage, then you would go for, I always like light candles. I'm surrounded by candles at the moment, and as I say, I'm sitting in front of a fire. You feel that heat, and of course heat can burn up and kind of reduce to ashes, and heat can stir up, it can boil, and it can burst seeds open in the ground. So just think about which aspects you are going to align with. So really think about it before you start. Because obviously there are aspects of Sekhmet that are wild and kind of incredibly powerful. But the thing is about Sekhmet and her mission from Ra was that she was led to believe, and not even led to believe, she was told quite rightly that her mission was just. She was acting on the behalf of Ma'at, of truth, of balance and justice. So if you need to work on injustices, I mean, when you, if you want to offer something to Sekhmet, then, do something to create a justice, a balance, be courageous and all that kind of stuff. So, and so, just think about which aspect you're going for, and then just be mindful. Are you going, do you want justice? Do you want courage? Do you want power? You want healing? And then think of what you're going to offer Sekhmet as a, energy is about give and take. It's about the flow forward and backwards. So, and you can offer anything like spices, like paprika, cayenne pepper, red spices, chilies, that kind of stuff. Or just simple stuff like milk or, herbs or flowers. And again, anything to do with the colours I've mentioned. So, okay, so let's have a look at a nice simple. You could even offer a herb pomegranate juice, cranberry juice, tomato juice, anything that resembles blood. Now, it's a good job I remembered this, because blood is life force, life. It's the energy that runs through us. So when you're thinking about her drinking blood, you might think, ooh, but it's symbolic. A lot of this stuff is symbolic about the life force, imbibing the life force and stuff. So, okay, so let's do a nice, simple kind of meditation that you can practice. I would get into a nice simple place. I would just put some of these items onto a table in front of you. Put a cloth on a little table, even if it's a little chair or a surface, and light a candle, and I often like to go for white candles because it keeps the purity, and I would always start most of my meditations by making sure I say I deny, reject and banish any energy that is not of love, kindness and compassion, and just protect myself. However you protect yourself, whether you see yourself surrounded by white light or in a golden capsule, or however you normally do it, surrounded by a rainbow, wrapped up in a rainbow, grounded. And that's what we're going to do now just before we start, and go with that flow. So would you like to make yourself comfortable? You can lie or you can sit. And always just start with the breath, the energy of life. Just start with the breath. And don't do anything really spectacular. Just breathe normally and regularly, and just come into the heart. Come into your heart center. And just enjoy being in that heart center. Sit comfortably and you're breathing. I've got the fire going on in the background. The wood's falling around in the fire. So, okay. And then just do this protection of the self. Like I say, you can wrap yourself in spiral rainbow and make sure the protection goes above your head, behind you, under your feet, in front of you, so you are completely lovely enveloped in light, or like I say, a golden capsule, or whatever suits you, whatever you like, a purple starry aura. Just feel that protection and reject, deny and banish any energy that is not of love, of light, of purity, of kindness, of compassion, authenticity, with the divine unconditional love. And just for a few moments, let your mind just go a bit, crazy. All the stuff that might be coming in and whirling around, and then one by one just kind of say thank you, and then just kind of brush them aside, dismiss them into a beautiful treasure chest, and just say, okay, for now, you're just going to have a little rest in this treasure chest of mine. You're okay. Just have a rest, and just put each of the thoughts that might be taking your attention and put them into a treasure chest, or anything that suits you, anything that you like to put them into. It might be a big purse, it might be a big glass box. So your mind can be fully present and aligned with Goddess Sekhmet, and get an image of Sekhmet in your mind just for now. Just start to feel the energy of Sekhmet. Imagine that lioness head. And of course, the minute you start thinking and aligning with it, you attract the energy. The energies start to perk up and be aware. The spirit of Sekhmet. The spirit in Egyptian is known as the Ka. So the spirit of Sekhmet. You just start to think about it, and I want you just to think about all that you know her to be. All aspects of her, the healing aspect, fighting for justice, courage, her power, her might, how she struck fear and terror into people, but at the same time how she was the kind of she is the goddess that is associated with healing, all kinds of natural healing, of physicians, medicine men, medicine women. So just start to feel that energy. and think about what you are going to ask of Sekhmet. What do you want help with? What are you seeking from connecting with her? Visualize yourself in a desert. There are palm trees and there is shade. Feel the heat of that glorious, life-giving sun. Feel the perspiration evaporating from you. You are in the land of Sekhmet. Just stand for a moment. There are two pillars either side of you and a big stone lintel above. The gateway to the temple of Sekhmet. Ahead of you, you can see a temple. This is the temple of Sekhmet. And you stand, understanding the sacred journey you are about to embark on. You begin to walk to the temple of Sekhmet. In order to do this, as all initiation walks, you must walk through the hot sun, where it burns off your negativity and cleanses you before you enter the temple of Sekhmet. Keep walking, feeling that sun towards this beautiful temple. Visualize it just the way you would imagine it to be. Sacred, ancient temple of goddess Sekhmet. You're feeling excited, maybe nervous, because you know there is a potential of great shift and assistance from this divine entity. You notice there are cats all wandering around the temple of Bast. In her calmness, Sekhmet in her fury. The cats are looking at you, checking you out, checking your energy out, healing you as you pass by. Finally, you get to the opening of the temple and much appreciated shade. There's 2 fire sconces either side of the doorway, the flame of purification. And within you, as you enter into the shade of the temple, just shut your eyes and remind yourself what it is you want to ask of Sekhmet. What support, what guidance, what courage, what answers you seek from this mighty, powerful lioness, warrior, goddess. You walk further into the temple of Sekhmet. There's fire all along, bowls of fire, crystals, the smell of incense, and a coolness as you walk through the dark, shady corridors. Eventually you come to a large opening. It has a beautiful curtain in front of it. Incredible fabrics, incredible beauty. And behind this curtain sits the spirit of Sekhmet. It looks like a statue, and it will appear to you how you need to see it at this point. She may be seated, she may be standing, she may have her hand up, she may be holding an ankh, she may be holding a jed pillar, she may be all in colour, or she may be the familiar black granite, that black colour that can absorb negativity. Remind yourself what you are going to ask Sekhmet when the curtains are drawn back. Okay, I'm going to count down from 3 to 1, and when I say 1, the curtains will open by her wonderful assistants, the high priestesses of her temple. 3, 2, 1. Curtains open. You notice immediately the room is like a red-orange colour. There's a special fire in front of the fantastic image of Sekhmet. It could be a statue sitting there, but there's something about the energy. There is something about the feeling, the might and the power radiating off. It could be Sekhmet herself sat absolutely still, looking at you through closed eyes, feeling your energy, feeling your aura. And react in whatever way seems natural to you. You have something to lay before Sekhmet. It may be in a pocket, it may just appear in your hand, it may be in your hair, it may be in a bag that you carry. Now is the moment to take your offerings and just silently lay it before the altar of Sekhmet. You can hear a sound, almost imperceptible, but you can hear a sound in this temple. It's a sound you like. It's a sound that's meaningful to you. Sekhmet knows that. You start to breathe in the scent of the temple. You start to breathe in the power and the might and the healing ability of Sekhmet. You can't help it. The whole room is full of power, the healing potential. You can see herbs all on an altar. You can see crystals. You can see incense burning. And you feel like you want to melt all that no longer serves your highest good and just let it seep out to be evaporated by the might of the sun. Sekhmet can be heard in your mind. The telepathic powers speak to you and you hear her voice in your mind. Only you know what she says to you. Listen to the might and wisdom, the glory, the courage, the bravery, the gentleness, the understanding, the wisdom, centuries, millennia of information and knowledge. Sekhmet is greeting you and speaking to you. Get into a position that you think is appropriate, and either, if you wish, you can speak your wish out loud, or you can speak your desire and your question and your ask in your mind telepathically to Sekhmet. Tell her your heart's desire. Tell her what you truly want. Tell her what you've been struggling with, and ask that she give you whatever you're asking for. Ask Sekhmet for her support, her assistance in any way that seems appropriate for you. Tell her in all honesty. Keep nothing hidden. Share your loving heart with Sekhmet and what you truly ask of her. And know that she hears all. She hears all. And just for a moment sit silently while that exchange of energy occurs between you and this divine deity, divine feminine. You're in the power and the aura of Sekhmet, and she starts to just amplify her power, amplifying the words, listening and processing, and immediately activating that which you've asked for. There's a word, there's a feeling, there's a tingle, there's butterflies as you feel her energy just pulsating stronger and stronger. You are asked to stand up tall, dropping your hands to your side, standing erect in front of this divine goddess. And you feel something, and only you know what you feel, enveloping you, entering you, encompassing you, washing you, cleansing you. And I'm just going to stay silent for a few moments while you really tune into what you're receiving from Sekhmet. Breathe her in. Breathe it in. Whatever is coming your way, whatever is behind you and coming through you and being felt by you. It could be words, it could be feelings, it could be sensations or colours or nothing. It could be cold, it could be hot, it could tingle, it could feel heavy. I'm just going to be quiet for a few seconds while you tune into the exchange between you and the goddess Sekhmet. Knowing that you can come back here at any point, at any time, with humility yet strength, standing in your own divine power, approaching Goddess Sekhmet. And here you stand right now in front of her, receiving from her. And you know that you can always feel and imbibe and connect with that energy as you are now standing right in front of Goddess Sekhmet, Goddess of power, mighty, divine, feminine. And then everything just stops. There is a sound you hear again to signal that that energy is just going to calm down. Just returning to normal. To your surprise, or maybe not, the statue suddenly sparkles, stands, luminous almost. You feel the power of the presence, the spirit, the energy of Sekhmet raining down on you. And then she just returns to her original position of when you originally walked in, as if she's just turning into statue again. You thank Sekhmet for giving you audience, for giving you what she's given you. Even if you're not aware of it now, over the next few days and weeks, allow it to work through you, the energy to work through you. Keep the crystals or the herbs or the oils, the images around. Keep that memory of this moment, the recall, enlivened. And as you know, when you walk away from a deity, you're just going to walk backwards. A high priestess takes each hand and just guides you backwards. You're walking backwards away from Sekhmet, out of the room. The curtains close and you turn around and walk towards the light at the end of the corridor in this beautiful temple with these beautiful high priestesses either side of you who have their own form of radiation and peace and calm and quiet, and they smile at you lovingly, and you have a feeling of ultimate contentment and excitement as you walk out of the temple of Sekhmet into the bright, dazzling sun, along the pathway where all the cats are still looking at you, and they almost look like they're smiling and grinning. And you walk back to where the two temples are and the heavy stone lintel above. You walk through, and as you walk through, it's like a portal, and you end up back where you are right now, in the room that you're in. But no, it never goes away. Yes, the wind. The wind. The sense of change, the winds of change. And here you are back. And just let those images fade, knowing they are within you, and they always will be. That connection of Sekhmet in your aura, in your heart, in your soul, mind, body and spirit. And when you're ready, just wiggle your toes, your fingers, smile, roll your shoulders, whether you're lying or sitting. And when you're ready, open your eyes, knowing your questions have been given, and let them go into the divine ether. Thank you for joining this meditation to Goddess Sekhmet.